Let us take a look at the question now. In this question, the change strategy that we are going to employ is one item the same. And I'm going to read the question with you first. So in this question, we have two people. We have Tanisha and we also have her sister. So Tanisha had as much money as her sister at first. After Tanisha spent $78 on the dress, the sister now had 4 times as much money as her. So how much money did both girls have at the end? For questions like this, I would ask my students to employ the ACE strategy. So what is this ACE strategy? This ACE stands for A for at first. So we have an at first model, we have a change, and finally we have what happens at the end. So we have the end model. So if Tanisha has as much money as her sister at first, what does that mean? They have an equal amount of money. And after Tanisha spent $78 on a dress, the sister now had 4 times as much as her in the end. So should we begin by drawing the at first model, or should we begin by drawing the end model? Now, this depends on the keywords that we have in the question. And I'm going to share with you 3 key phrases which we need to look out for to determine whether we start from the at first model or the end model. So the first is equal. The second is more or less than. And finally, the third is as many as. So which is the most important keyword? The most important keyword is equal, followed by more than, less than, and the least important is as many as. So if we go back to the question again, Tanisha has as much money as her sister at first. After Tanisha spent $78 on the dress, her sister has 4 times as much money as her. So this 4 times as much money represents as many as, let me indicate that. And Tanisha has as much money as her sister at first represents equal. So what should we start off with first? Should we start off with equal or as many as? As I mentioned earlier on, equal is the most important keyword, so we should start from equal. Now, the equal is mentioned at first. So Tanisha and her sister had an equal amount of money. I will draw 2 rectangles which represent Tanisha and her sister having equal amounts of money. The next thing to think about is what is changed and what is kept the same. So as we read the second sentence, after Tanisha spent $78 on a dress, how do we represent this information? So Tanisha spent $78. She had less money. And how much less? $78 on a dress. How about her sister? Did her sister spend any money? The answer is no. Her sister did not spend any money, so we will write the same, or you can also say no change. And in the end, her sister had 4 times as much money as her. So what does 4 times mean? 4 times, if we convert this to a fraction, it means 4 over 1. So the first number on top, which is the numerator, goes to the first person, which is her sister. And the second number below, the denominator, goes to the second person, which is Tanisha. Okay? At this moment, many of you will be excited to simply draw the model where the sister would have 4 boxes and Tanisha would have 1 box. But before you do this, one thing you need to note is this is a specific strategy that we need to employ. So we need to check for what is kept the same. Why we need to do that is because whatever that is kept the same, we would follow the same size of that model. So between Tanisha and her sister, I will start off with the sister first, and I will draw the exact same size of the model as much as possible to represent the sister's amount of money that she has, because the amount of money that she has did not change. Given that I know this bar is made up of 4 units as what we have identified earlier, I'm going to cut this bar into 4 parts. And how many units does Tanisha have now? Tanisha has only 1 unit over here. So I'm going to give Tanisha 1 box to represent the amount of money that she has now. So after drawing the at first model and the end model, I'm going to do this thing called make parts equal. So making parts equal means that I need to cut the at first model the way that I have cut the N model. So let us cut the sister's model in the first model into the same 4 parts. And since we know that Tanisha and her sister had the same amount of money at first, I am also going to cut Tanisha's model into 4 parts. Okay, once we have done that, let us see how much money did she spend and how we can put that into our model. So since she spent $78, this part that is missing represents $78. And are you able to tell now that this $78 here is the same as this 3 units that Tanisha had earlier on? Because now she only had 1 unit left. So let us write that 3 units is equals to $78. What is 1 unit then? 1 unit is $78 divided by 3, and this will give us 26. What is the question asking? How much money did both girls have all together at the end? So we are looking at the end, and since 1 unit is 26, at the end we have 1 unit, 1 unit, 1 unit, 1 unit, 1 unit. We have 5 units altogether. So 5 units is equals to 26 multiplied by 5, which will give us a total of $130. So the amount of money altogether at the end is going to be 130. So this is how I would solve the question.